Hey, what's up, Coach? I'm Coach Besaw from SpreadOffenseFootball.com. Welcome to my YouTube channel, The Spread Offense. I really appreciate you being here. Today's video is going to be super awesome. I really think you're going to like it because if you're in need of some help at the quarterback position, developing your quarterback, finding some drills to help them improve their accuracy and overall throwing mechanics, then I think this drill is really going to help you. So make sure you stay tuned and check it out. Okay, Coach, so the first drill here with my EDDs when it comes to throwing, usually start our day in practice by getting on a knee, and we start with one knee down. So you can see here I've got three quarterbacks. The two on the other end are JV quarterbacks. One's a freshman, one's a sophomore. And then this is the varsity quarterback here closest to you. And we're working on our upper body mechanics, and so just kind of reviewing with them the points of emphasis here. So what we're looking for is that we're taking the legs away from them in the throw and just really focusing on the upper body mechanics of what I call coiling the upper body, or you can also think of it as like burying that front side shoulder. And so really they want to get their front side shoulder pointed right down towards their target. Now you can see in the gold jersey with that throw right there that he didn't do a really great job of getting that front side shoulder buried right down to the target that's 10 yards apart. You can see how it's kind of angled more, almost outside of this quarterback right here. It's kind of at this angle here. So trying to get reps of them getting comfortable, kind of looking down that front shoulder and having that front shoulder right at the chest of their target. It's different for different knees. So as you can see, this quarterback here is going right knee up. So now this is kind of simulating if a right-handed quarterback is kind of rolling out to the left side of the pocket and having to throw like kind of slightly against his body. It's challenging because you still have to get coiled up in the upper body to generate enough torque when you uncoil and rotate that you have enough torque in the throw to be able to put a nice, firm, accurate ball out there. So again, the emphasis here is getting the front side shoulder pointed directly towards the target, no matter what knee they're on. If they're really struggling with it, then I will have them kind of come to a pause, kind of like what this JV player here is doing right in this clip here. Come to a slight pause to check themselves that they are looking over that front side shoulder, and they really feel it kind of buried inside, kind of towards their chest. Don't want them to over rotate, but we definitely want them looking down the shoulder there. The other thing that I'm looking for here while we play catch is just the separation of the hands when the ball comes out. Quarterback here does a pretty good job of separating. A lot of times what I notice is that ball gets dragged down by the hip and it becomes a super long delivery. So we want just kind of a quick little J movement, kind of or a hook movement, if you will. And we get that ball, it should be turning away from us and kind of setting it on the table where the noses of the football are kind of parallel to the ground. And then we want to go straight up and get to that 90-degree angle with that wrist down to the elbow and then to the shoulder. I'd like for him to do a better job of keeping this left side shoulder buried more towards his target. He's kind of opened up a little bit. And so I would really like to see that done a little bit better from him and keeping his left hand a little bit stronger through the throw. But it's not a bad job. He's actually got a pretty good release and hand separation here. Sometimes his habit is bringing that thing way down by the hip. So if he's going to bring it down by the hip, then what I usually do is I kind of have him go in slow motion with separating the hands and getting that ball up to 90 degrees. If they really struggle with those things, then I try to compartmentalize it for them and build muscle memory by having them repeat those things kind of at a slow pace for them to understand the movements that it requires. So these guys are just kind of progressing through our EDDs. I tell them to compete with themselves to see how many times they can hit their partner in the chest, and that way there's a purpose behind the drill. So they'll go right knee down, left knee down, and now you can see they're starting to work with both knees down, and I'm still You can kind of see here, coaching point for them is that they're not getting that front side all the way coiled up, where they have enough energy and torque to be able to rotate and throw a firm ball. You can kind of see, I think that's probably the coaching point there, is that they're leaving their chest open to their target. So that's really what I'm looking for. Also looking for the follow through of their throw, that they don't give up on the football when the ball leaves their fingertips. So when that ball leaves their fingertips, they got to snap that wrist straight down through, and that thumb should end up in the opposite pocket of the body there. And so with these two knees here, if the drill is done correctly, they should maintain good posture in the throwing motion. They shouldn't be having like a forward lean with their chest is leaning to the ground. Good posture in the upper body, but if they finish and follow through, then there should be a little bit of a tug at the end where they kind of have to hold themselves up. So I kind of want to overemphasize that. Kind of right there, you can kind of see how his momentum brings him forward a little bit. We really want to focus on the finish of the throw, and that we don't give up on it as soon as it, kind of as it's leaving our fingertips. So we want to continue our throwing motion, snap the wrist down, finish our hand, our thumb in the opposite pocket. And so this is where we're translating to standing up, and we're stationary. So again, we're taking the legs away from the throw and still working our upper body mechanics of getting that muscle memory of what it should feel like for coiling the upper body and finishing and snapping through the throw to make a complete throw. So ideally, we should be able to play catch without chasing the football. Occasionally, it'll happen. But here, their feet should be about shoulder width apart, slight bend in the knee. Again, same emphasis as burying that front side shoulder, being able to look down that left shoulder, down at their target, and getting on top of the football and snapping down with a nice follow through and a nice finish. Thumb in the opposite pocket. Kind of same thing here as both their knees are down. They should have enough momentum in their throw that they have to take a slight step forward. That will produce a good follow through and a good finish. So there should be a little bit of momentum pulling them forward from time to time. Now, if the quarterbacks finish, kind of standing tall and high, and their hand is more out in front and it's not down in front of them or thumb in the opposite pocket, then that's a good coaching point to let your kids know that they need to finish the throw, snap the wrist through, and don't give up on it just because it's releasing out of the fingertips. So these are pretty simple EDDs that we do each day just to get us throwing. We do progress to using our feet, but I try to compartmentalize the upper body and the lower body before kind of blending it together and doing kind of a full body throw where the upper body and the lower body are working together. So that's one simple drill that you can use if you aren't already, that has a lot of coaching points and can really help clean up a lot of mechanical errors in your quarterback's throwing motion. Now we are about 10 yards apart still. After we progress from those stationary throws, I turn them sideways and I get their right foot on a yard line so they can really feel what I call is the power position, and I'll try to freeze it here when they get into that power position. So his right foot's on the line. There's the power position right there, which is just kind of the position that quarterbacks take when they're in their pocket and right before they stride to deliver a throw. So I want about 80% of the weight on their back leg. There should be a nice, kind of flex in the calf muscle here. The ball should be about on the right nipple, close to the ear. I don't really care if it's like up by the ear. I don't want it up by the ear. Just in a comfortable position. Their elbows should be down, nice and relaxed. The weight should be on the instep of their foot. And again, about 80% of the weight there. And what I'm having them do here is I'm actually having them, it's post stride. So it's just outside their left shoulder here, and their toe is open at about 45 degrees. Now, the post stride here, what they'll do is with this foot, it's going to be just slightly left of their target. So if this guy's 10 yards away from him, his target might be, right in here somewhere. And that foot should be just slightly to the left of his target there. That way we allow the hips to be able to rotate and get through the throw. Because if we're anything down the line here or closed off and our toe is on this side of the line, then we're cutting our hips off and we're not able to use that torque that or that energy that we coiled up with when we rotate to make our throw. We cut our hips off, and we're not going to be able to make a good throw and use all that energy that came from the coil position. So here, we're working on transferring the weight from the back leg to the front leg. And I give my quarterbacks the freedom. If they are a toe dragger, meaning when they transfer that weight from the back leg to the front, if they drag their toe, then drag their toe here. I'm not someone that really likes to drag my toe. I'm more of a pick it up and kind of swing it around to the front kind of guy. So that's what I would do if I were to finish on my throw. So you can kind of see he's a little bit of that as well. He picks it up and he brings it forward and he kind of finishes on his toe. So again, it's the point of emphasis is translating the weight, about 80% of the weight from the back leg, really pushing off that back leg and working the dissociation of when our hips start to move forward, we start to go back with the football. So we should have our shoulders being perpendicular to our target. Okay, as we start to move our hips forward and translate the weight, the football starts to be put back on a shelf here and then up to 90. Okay, and then at that point, we want to make sure that we're finishing following through our throw, and that thumb ends up in the opposite pocket here. So he does a pretty good job of that. And I always tell my quarterbacks that the football is going to give you feedback. So if the football's nose is kind of up in the air towards the clouds, kind of standing up, then we didn't finish our throw. We didn't get on top of the football, meaning we didn't get to this position here. Now, I know people out there are probably teaching quarterback throws differently because of Aaron Rodgers and like the sidearm thing, but I'm still a believer in elbow above the shoulder and getting on top so that way you can get down and snap the wrist through. So like I was saying, I make sure that I tell my kids that the football is going to give them feedback. So if the nose of the ball is up in the clouds, it means we didn't get on top of the football and we didn't finish our throw. We didn't snap the wrist through and we didn't finish. We kind of just pushed it and gave up on our release as it was leaving our fingertips. For a good finish and good follow through, the nose of the football should be a tight spiral, and the trajectory of that thing should be headed right for the logo. So it should be kind of on its side and then starting to take kind of a downward angle to the target. And so that's kind of the feedback that my players are looking for as they are progressing through these throws here, is that we always want to compete with ourselves. Our jerseys have a nice logo in the middle, so they're competing with themselves to see how many times they can hit that logo. We want that nose of that football to be more of a downward angle as our partners are catching the ball, because that's good feedback for us. That means we're in good mechanics. We're able to get on top of that football. We finish our throw. Our thumb ends up in the opposite pocket, and we complete the throw. All right, Coach, so there's just a few of the EDDs that we do to start our individual drills with the quarterbacks. As you can see, we're working our upper body, working on coiling our upper body or burying the front side shoulder, and basically all aspects of the throwing motion from the waist up. We certainly, like I said, progress into the lower half, into our drops, and try to make it, at that point, getting into more game-like scenarios as far as what they'll be doing in the game. So I hope that you found it useful. If you haven't done those drills before, feel free to give it a try. If you have any questions about them and want more details or information, please let me know. I'd be happy to help you out. Leave a comment if you got any questions, and I'll get back to you on the video and answer any comments or questions that you guys have about these EDDs. If you like more and you want more videos and you like what you saw here, make sure you hit that like button and then also subscribe so you can get more videos coming your way. Also, if you want to see more quarterback drills, please let me know. Leave another comment, and I'll do my best to be able to get on the field and cut up some videos of things that we do at practice. So thanks again, Coach. I appreciate you guys for watching these videos, supporting the channel, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.